America's cities are collapsing, and not just metaphorically. From coast to coast, once thriving metros are now bleeding residents, choking on crime, and buckling under economic decay. This isn't a future crisis. It's happening right now. Tax bases are vanishing. Downtown cores are becoming ghost towns. And families? They're fleeing in numbers that should terrify policymakers. So what's driving this collapse? Is it crime? Cost of living? Or something even deeper, the total failure of urban governance? Today, we're counting down the 10 cities collapsing fastest in America. These aren't just struggling, they're falling off a cliff. Real data, real pain. And some names on this list will absolutely shock you. If you live in one of these cities, this could be your final warning. Let's begin. Number 10, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge is shrinking, and fast. Since 2019, the city has lost 2.8% of its population, joining nearby New Orleans in what can only be described as Louisiana's urban freefall. Once a modest economic engine for the Gulf South, Baton Rouge is now a cautionary tale in slow-motion collapse. Housing prices tell the same ugly story. Home price gains in Baton Rouge are lagging 57% behind the national average, eroding homeowner wealth and deterring new investment. Property owners are stuck in a stagnant market with little hope of recovery, and that's before considering the city's aging infrastructure and rising insurance premiums. In 2024 alone, corporate headquarters fleeing Baton Rouge jumped by 35, draining high-wage jobs and accelerating brain drain. So why is no one talking about it? Is Baton Rouge quietly becoming a dead zone for young talent and economic growth? Number 9, Honolulu, Hawaii. May be paradise to tourists, but for locals, Honolulu is becoming unsustainable. The city's population declined 1.1% over just a few years, a shocking reversal for an area that once enjoyed decades of steady, reliable growth. Home values in Honolulu have risen 51% slower than the U.S. average, an alarming sign in a city that depends heavily on real estate and retirement wealth. Meanwhile, rising costs, especially in energy and imported goods, are hammering the middle class and forcing many to consider leaving the islands altogether. The biggest blow? A $1.7 billion drop in tourist spending in 2023. That's not just a number, that's hotels closing, shops shuttering, and service jobs disappearing overnight. Could Honolulu become America's most beautiful economic failure? Number 8, Portland, Oregon. Portland was once a progressive beacon, quirky, creative. Boom, now it's hemorrhaging people. The city lost 3.0% of its population between 2019 and 2022, the first multi-year population decline since the 1970s. Why are people fleeing? Economic malaise and cultural decay. Per capita income gains are trailing peers by 26, driving young professionals to seek opportunity elsewhere. Office vacancy rates downtown? A staggering 25% as of mid-2025, the highest in the Pacific Northwest. Add in rising crime, an underfunded police force, and a drug crisis spiraling out of control, and you get the picture. Portland didn't just lose momentum, it lost its identity. And that's just the beginning. Number 7, Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is shrinking in a state that's still growing. Since 2019, the city's population has dropped 2.5%, a quiet but dangerous trend that speaks volumes about the city's trajectory. Alaska's boomtowns are elsewhere. Anchorage is falling behind. New home construction in Anchorage ranks among the bottom 5% of U.S. cities, failing to keep up with demand and choking future growth. Without new development, the tax base can't expand, and that's a death sentence for any city trying to stay relevant. Meanwhile, local unemployment remains 1.1 points higher than the national average, a red flag for anyone thinking of relocating or investing. Anchorage isn't just cold, it's economically frozen. Is Alaska's largest city slipping into long-term decline? Number 6, Chicago, Illinois. The Windy City is being blown apart by economic headwinds and a growing wave of outmigration. Since 2019, Chicago has lost 4.2% of its residents, many of them middle-class taxpayers fleeing for the suburbs or other states. Home value growth in Chicago trails the national average by 58, meaning homeowners are watching their equity stagnate while property taxes continue to climb. It's a brutal financial trap, one that's pushing more and more people out the door. And then there's the crime. Violent crime spikes in 2024 triggered a 3.7% surge in address change filings, people literally packing up and getting out. So we have to ask, has Chicago reached a point of no return? Number 5. Detroit. Michigan. All know Detroit's past, but the present? Still grim. The city's population has plunged another 7.4% since 2019, leaving fewer than 670,000 residents in what was once America's fourth largest city. Per capita income growth is a disaster, 75 slower than the national average, cementing Detroit's place among America's poorest metros. Forget economic revival. Detroit is struggling just to keep the lights on in some neighborhoods. A shocking 22% of the city is now vacant land or abandoned housing. Whole blocks sit empty, silent reminders of a forgotten American dream. Is Detroit permanently broken, or can it rise yet again from the ashes? Number 4. Boston, Massachusetts. Boston. You probably didn't expect this one, but the city has lost 6.0% of its residents since 2019. A stunning reversal for a place long seen as economically bulletproof. Home price appreciation is now 62% slower than in comparable metros, a sign that the city's real estate market is losing steam fast. Wealth effects are fading, and with them go the city's economic engine. To make matters worse, 5 Fortune 500 companies pulled out in 2024, citing rising costs and remote work flexibility. Could Boston, of all places, be the next Silicon Valley casualty? Number 3. New York City. New York. Even the empire is cracking. New York population dipped 3.1% between 2020 and 2023, disproving the myth that the Big Apple always bounces back. The truth? Millions are done with the noise, crime, and impossible cost of living. Unemployment is up 1.2. One of the worst spikes among major U.S. metros. At the same time, home value growth is lagging 71% behind peer cities, meaning even high-income earners are rethinking their commitment to city life. When Wall Street firms are moving to Miami and tech companies are favoring Texas, the writing's on the wall. Is New York losing its grip on global dominance? Number 2. New Orleans. Louisiana. Orleans is in freefall. Since 2019, its population has dropped by a staggering 5.0, fueled by rampant crime, environmental risk, and municipal mismanagement. A shocking 22.9% of homes in the city now lie vacant, the highest vacancy rate in the country. That's not just economic blight, it's urban rot, spreading street by street, block by block. New business starts are among the bottom 5% nationwide, meaning the local economy isn't just flat, it's dying. And with hurricane insurance rates skyrocketing, who's going to reinvest in the Big Easy now? Number 1. San Francisco, California. Welcome to the collapse capital of America. San Francisco has lost 8.3% of its population since 2019, the steepest drop of any major city in the U.S. That's not decline, that's evacuation. Home values have grown 73% slower than the national average, gutting household equity and driving landlords to abandon properties. Meanwhile, the city's tax base is disintegrating, with downtown vacancy rates now flirting with apocalyptic levels. But perhaps the most chilling stat: per capita income growth trails 75% behind peer cities. That means even the tech elite are earning less, spending less, and moving out. Can San Francisco survive this spiral, or is it already too late? These aren't just isolated cities. They're canaries in the coal mine. San Francisco, Detroit, New Orleans. The symptoms may vary, but the disease is the same: collapsing infrastructure, fleeing residents, dying economies. And let's be honest, no one in Washington seems to care. So ask yourself, is your city next? And if you do live in one of these collapsing cities, what are you going to do about it? Don't forget to subscribe. We're exposing the truth behind the headlines every single week. Next up, 10 US cities that are booming while everyone else collapses, and trust me, that one will shock you. Until then, Stay informed. Stay bold.